all of a sudden now makes like it justifies anything.
Yeah.
It justifies anything, and like you have this trend of like astaghfirullah azim, like OnlyFans people, and there's this whole like era of you can't guilt shame somebody for the means they get that bag.
Do whatever
You know?
it takes.
For sure.
Exactly.
For sure.
So long as that is the end result, the means are justified. As long as you don't obviously murder or rob,
Yeah.
they'll tell you, yeah, get that bag. you
No,
know?
they'll still tell you, regardless, like the whole murder thing, the whole gang banging, the whole, I don't know, the whole drug industry and all that kind of stuff. Half of these like so-called role models or so-called rappers that people look up to aren't even about that life. What's the highest number you know?
Dick, I don't understand why she was that.
What's the highest number you know?
Huh?
Count with me, actually. Count with me. Ready? Uno.
Uno, due, tre,
No,
quattro.
count with me.
11, 13, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16.
Quindici. 15. Come on, Sohail.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, خلاص. Let's checkmate. Hot minute time.
That's how we start the episode.
Let's go.
What's the next number? Guys, welcome to another time. Let's start our hot minute, yeah? All right, beautiful. Guys, welcome back to another segment of Hot Minute. We haven't done it in a while. We've always got 1 minute to quickly discuss this. All right. Would you rather take a cold shower on a hot summer day or be wrapped up in a warm blanket on a cold winter day? Limada, why? Hit me, boys. Go. Quick, we've got a minute, bro.
Wait, this is when I'm trying to sleep with a warm blanket, like I'm trying to sleep.
Throughout the day. Think of this hot day, peak of the day, around Dhuhr time.
I reckon a cold shower.
Cold shower on a
Yeah.
hot day.
Yeah.
Sohail,
Go and don't stop, yeah?
this guy just loves cold showers, bro.
Yeah.
That's why he does his affirmations.
I just start.
I am the greatest.
Wim Hof. What
The controlled breathing too.
I thought this was a riddle, bro. I was trying to think about it for a second. I was like,
We got a minute.
It's
What's
one
yours? What's yours?
what was the thing again? I'll let you go.
A hot shower on a cold winter day, or a cold shower on a hot summer day.
Hot shower on
I
a
think
cold
you
winter
can.
day. It's very
You
easy.
said hot blanket, wrapped in a blanket on a winter day.
Yeah, that too.
That was 2 showers.
Wait. Would you rather take a cold shower on a hot summer day, or be wrapped up in a warm blanket on a cold winter day?
Wrapped up in a warm.
Yeah, same.
Such an easy
Yeah,
state.
yeah.
These guys are like, oh, look.
Yeah,
cold
100%.
shower.
It lasts
Can't
longer.
have cold showers in summer, bro.
He
Can I
wants to
change
sink.
your answer?
He wants to sink the scuffle. Yeah.
Oh, he's the biggest kid.
I'll just put like a gown on and I'm good.
Hey, but tell me your reasoning why for the cold shower, real quick, though.
10 minutes done. Let's go. We're gonna start here, boys. First thing, do we look up to the wrong people? Us as a community, as individuals, you know who we fantasize as our role models. Do you think we look up to the wrong people?
Oh, that's a very specific question. Do
Yeah.
we all? I think to a degree, everybody's impressionable, especially growing up when you're younger. You always have that one person that you always thought like they can do no wrong. you
For
know?
sure.
Whether it's a close family member, whether it's, you know, the bloke that you watch on YouTube, like a certain somebody in this room. I think we all look up to somebody, to be honest with you. And
But do we look up to the wrong people is the question, yeah? Do we look up to the wrong people?
come back to that, yes.
How do you define the wrong person, though? How we do, like in terms of like someone who I might look up to might not be, I guess, wrong to me compared to someone who you might look up to might be wrong to you. Do you get what I mean? Like people that are polarizing to a certain degree. You feel what I'm getting at?
Depends. It depends. Maybe the reason why you look up to them. So, for example, you look up to a YouTuber when you're younger, maybe just because they're famous and that's what you want.
The
from
clout,
them.
yeah, the clout.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seems,
That's probably
So
considered
are they
why.
the wrong people to look up to?
of course.
I would say to, because that's your main reason to why you look up to them is only
Yeah.
because of
Yes.
fame.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make sense. It's like, why would you only want that and you like that person just because of fame and money? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I agree with Ali. I
Last.
reckon, the reason.
Mm-hmm.
The reason is the most important thing. And
But it's not the people that are the problem, yeah?
No.
Is that what you're trying to say?
well, to a degree it is.
Okay.
To a degree it is, because people who have a certain amount of like reach and they have like a platform, they should know what comes with it.
For
It's
sure.
it's like it comes along with it, like it's just a part of the package. And if anybody who says like, I just want to do this and
Yeah.
that's it. That's all I want. I just want to make my money and move on with my life. And doesn't work like that, you know.
Sure.
No matter how much you want to think and believe and like delude yourself, you can't get away from it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get away from it. You can't go around saying, yeah, I want this exposure, I want this fame, but I don't want what comes with it.
Like as in people looking up to me.
Yeah,
exactly.
People copying me, copying my actions and all that.
So it comes with the territory.
Yeah. So I'll give you an example. There's have you ever heard of Nicki Minaj's fan group? I don't know what they're called exactly, but she has like stands. So they're like the people that followed
fans,
this
yeah.
lady religiously.
Okay.
And
I
the
gotta
thing-
know what their group is called.
I don't really care, to be honest with you, but just give it a check. But one thing that happens is with these girls is that like Beyonce and the Beehive, whatever the hell they call it.
They're the after BTS. They're the worst ones.
Yeah, it's like the person can do no wrong, you know, and then they don't realize that when this person sees you in a public setting, no matter how much you like pray to this person and you love them and you follow them and you know every single inside and outside intricacy of their life, they don't give a shit about you.
There's a saying that they say like never meet your idols.
Yeah.
Because they're probably gonna disappoint you. Like if you go to Nicki Minaj and for example you saw on the streets like, hey, can I get a photo with you? She's like, yeah, quickly. I'm in a rush.
Yeah.
You'll think, oh, I have posters of you all on the wall, and you're my favorite person in the world, and you're saying quickly, oh, I don't want a picture with you. Not in the mood.
Yeah.
That's why I don't
yeah.
get.
You know?
That's why I don't get with a lot of people. Like when they do see like a footballer, for example, and they want to take a photo with him, and they had a bad interaction. Then it's like, oh, okay, now I think this guy is like arrogant or something. It's like, bro,
Exactly.
you just seen him in one instant. Maybe he's just frustrated from all the hundreds of fans he's dealing with every single day. It's like you can't just make a judgment.
Definitely, bro.
Just like unrealistic expectations of actors
Humans,
or celebrities.
humans,
Yeah,
bro.
exactly.
Humans in general.
It's
man.
inevitable for them to like show some flaws or make mistakes and that. It's just
Or
how
not
it
be
is.
in the mood, bro. Or maybe they're going through something in their personal life.
Yeah,
It's like, it's
100%.
not like just because I have 1 billion followers or whatever it is that I can go back and say that there's no issues like with my parents or there's no issues in my personal life, like in for example, if they're in a relationship or whatever, and it really bothers them. Imagine you were having issues, yeah, but imagine that, and then you can't walk outside and breathe. Have you seen the video on the internet of Ronaldo saying how many times someone asked him for a coffee?
Yeah.
Sorry, someone asked him for a photo when he drinks tea. How many sips of tea in comparison to the
The
photo?
photo.
No way.
Yeah.
Bro.
Very
As in
interesting.
more photos and sips.
yeah?
Yeah.
He couldn't even finish a drink like a tea
Crazy.
without
man.
getting someone like 100 people asking him for a photo. It's crazy. So you kind of like you can understand where they're coming from, that they don't want that sort of stuff, but the thing is, it comes with territory, you know.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
And to come back to that question, do we look up to the wrong people? I think we do. I think because only this generation, I think it's been something new and fresh where widespread it's been everything in life is about accumulating wealth. It's all about materialism now. You know, like
Attention.
yeah, attention, bro. And like at the forefront, who are the leaders in culture or in like fashion or pop culture in general? But what kind of celebrities?
Like rappers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like for us, when we were growing up, like who, like off the top of your head, who was the one that you were like, okay, yeah, this guy, if I can be like this guy, I'm kind of set for life.
I don't want to say my
But be honest. Like
Okay.
it's a
Buddy Franklin.
okay. No, that was
so random.
You guys expected some sort of rapper or something like
I
that.
was not expecting
Bro,
that.
I idolized that guy growing up. What the hell?
Yeah.
He's the reason I watched the footy.
Yeah, bro. But I was like, I was going down a different route. I was
Yeah.
gonna say something
Sorry to
more like,
disappoint.
no, it's alright. Like I think every Lebanese guy is Tupac. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Every-
I love it.
Every
yeah.
Lebanese guy
I'll die
loves
for him.
Tupac. You know.
Yeah.
Like because of how realistic he is and sorry, how real he is and how real he is and he got shot for speaking out and all that sort of stuff and he spoke about the Illuminati and whatever, and this guy's like he's what you think a rajul is.
Yeah.
He doesn't sit there when injustice is happening. Yeah.
Sticks with his
The
values.
ideal gangster.
And then you realize, bro, he's a kafir. Bro, he's a kafir.
Yeah.
You know.
But like, regardless of that, sometimes we just look up to people because it's like what Ali said about we fantasize about their life. So we see like famous people, rappers or whatever. It's like all the money, all the cars, the girls, the gold, clothes, whatever. It's like that's the kind of life we want. So that's why maybe we look up to them because like we want a similar life. But maybe it's not right because like the path they got there isn't something that we want to do.
Yeah.
Maybe like when I was a kid, I didn't want to be a rapper, but I wanted that lifestyle. Like I used to look up to Chris Brown.
Yeah.
You know, childhood best.
Yeah,
He was the guy.
This guy's
You
a light skin, bro.
No, no, no. I'm just saying, like, because dancing, singing, whatever vibes, it's like okay.
And the girls.
But I didn't
Let's
want.
not
Like, I
deny
didn't want his life.
Let's not deny that.
I didn't want singing and dancing, but I wanted the cars and the house and that kind of thing. So you
Fame,
just
yeah.
The good voice, yeah.
you romanticize that kind of part of his life.
100%.
You know. But I think now it's consistent that the people we look up to are the rappers, are the actors who aren't like the most happy, who aren't even like the best character. A lot of them, like they talk about in the show business, they're not like the best people.
Yeah.
Like if you know them close, you know.
And they seem to be setting the path for what success looks like, you know?
Yeah.
And you can notice that, like, when somebody comes out with like like I'm wearing a certain brand now, or I've got a certain like a certain piece of jewelry on me now. All of a sudden, that's like a symbol of success. And
Like Yeezys, for example.
yeah, Yeezys, for example. This
I
is
was talking about rappers, and
but also, bro, there's this statement like get that bag, yeah.
Yeah. Oh
See
my
how that
God.
see how that changes everything.
Get your money up, not your funny up.
I love that guy. But yeah, bro, that statement, get that bag now, all of a sudden now makes like it justifies anything.
Yeah.
It justifies anything. And like you have this trend of like astaghfirullah azim, like OnlyFans people and there's this whole like era of you can't guilt shame somebody for the means they get that bag.
Do whatever
You know?
it takes.
For sure.
Exactly.
For sure.
So long as that is the end result, the means are justified. As long as you don't obviously murder or rob,
Yeah.
they'll tell you, yeah, you get that bag. you
No,
know?
they'll still tell you, regardless, like the whole murder thing, the whole gang banging, the whole, I don't know, the whole drug industry and all that kind of stuff. Half of these like so-called role models or so-called rappers that people look up to aren't even about that life. You know what I mean? And you're fantasizing about, like, for example, like, let's just use the whole example of like Tupac or something like that. Let's just say he was a gangster or something like that. Yeah, they're looking up to this gangster lifestyle and they try imitating it, but like the irony is your idol wasn't even a gangster themselves, you know? Like the baby and all that kind of stuff. I'll give you an example. What's that rapper that's upcoming at the moment? Tekka.
Lil Tecca.
Lil Tekka, yeah.
Oh yeah.
He
funny.
talks about Glocks and what's called guns and money and women, all that kind of stuff. He said, "Yeah, I've never had a girlfriend."
Yeah, he did a Genius
On the
video.
Genius,
yeah.
And then after they go, he goes, I'm slanging my Glock around. He goes, "Bro, I've never touched a Glock. I don't even know one." You know, and he talks about him being in some sort of like fancy cars and stuff. He goes, "Bro, I don't even have a license." You know, it's like the thing is sometimes like even though role models create this like
Persona.
brand and persona about themselves. There's two ways to look at this as well. They create this fake persona that people love, and that's what sells, and completely understandable because that's business at the end of the day. But then also the aspect of sometimes people look up to role models about certain aspects of their life they don't even portray. You know, they create this because what Sohail said at the start, because they're impressionable, you know, and they start to follow them based off of that.
Why is it? It's just because we kind of like fantasize their life, romanticize that we want a similar thing.
I think it's because like for certain celebrities, I can't name you one because I've never done it myself. But like, let's just say they have so many aspects of their life that are impressionable that you love, like the money, this and all that kind of stuff. But they're missing this one aspect of themselves, you know. So you want to hold them to that higher standard, so you can further, like I guess, glorify them and have them be that complete package. You know, when like people say, I don't know, like people love Michael Jackson or something like that, or people love Snoop Dogg, and then they say, yeah, but Snoop Dogg was a Muslim. You know, but then after he might not act on those certain things, they just add that certain aspect to them so they can further like increase their role model status. You feel what I mean?
Yeah.
I think also with these people like YouTubers, for example, who are now on the rise, and even actors and stuff like that, it looks like they're enjoying life. And sometimes we look every day and we're like, my job's the lowest, uni's the lowest, my mates are the lowest. And then you see these guys and it looks like they're just living the best life. They're traveling every day. They're having banter with their mates. They're getting paid to make all these videos. And because of that, we kind of look up to them and like, we want something similar. We want to, you know, make a living and enjoy life.
Yeah.
So maybe sometimes we look up to people because of that.
I think, and this is the reason I got off Instagram myself. And the thing plays on your head is you don't realize you're looking at the highlight reel of somebody else's life on Instagram. Nobody's ever posting, you know, like when they broke their arm,
Mm.
or unless they're like, I got a cast on, they're like, okay, feel sorry for me, yeah.
I just got in a
Like,
car accident.
you
I
know
have
what
to
I
pay
mean?
26K. I mean that.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No
Exactly.
one will ever post that. 100%.
Yeah.
No one's posting. They got negative amount of dollars in their bank account. You know,
Mm.
like it just doesn't. It doesn't. It's not befitting of the platform itself, because no one even cares in the end of the
Mm.
day. So the thing is, for people, I think that we need to move in a different direction with life in general. Like for me, I've never been happier since I got rid of social media. I realized that
Same.
because I think Abu Bakr Azud, he wrote on is that Abu Bakr Azud? Is that his name?
From Sydney, yeah.
Yeah, he wrote on I love looking at my YouTube when his thing pops up. He makes like a little commentary,
Yeah.
and he goes, one of his things for life is minding your own business, and basically not worrying about something that doesn't concern you. Yeah, as like a lesson that you should follow in life. And whenever I'm like on social media and whatever, and you guys did an episode about this, the only way to know what somebody's doing without a phone, without a camera, is to actually be standing behind this person consistently, watching what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what's that? What?
Glorified stalking. Yeah.
It's stalking.
Mm.
It's stalking, bro.
Yeah.
It's basically like you're getting involved in somebody else's business. Obviously, this person is sharing it. Yeah.
Mm.
So it kind of like it justifies it now for you to watch this thing.
Yeah.
But ask yourself, why am I watching somebody else live life when I've got my own life to live? My time is ticking. You know, my life is going by.
For sure.
You know, and then you don't see the part where they go home and they're miserable about editing the video, and they're figuring out ideas of what to do the next day so they can look happy.
Mm.
You know,
Doubting their content or whatever it is. Yeah.
exactly.
But is that a bad thing though? Like for a person to show like the highlights of their lives? Is that what you're trying to say? Are they the problem, or is it the person that looks up to them being the problem?
It's a bit of both.
I think it's the person looking up to them. So I think myself
Yeah.
consuming social media. So I look at people that I want to aspire to be, or maybe things they got in their life.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's just you creating that awareness that, and also realizing that they actually go through things as well. It just obviously it's weird because you don't see it. So it's like you have to just kind of accept or expect them to like go through things that we're not going to see, because that's just how Instagram and social media works.
Yeah.
But then you just have to realize that people are going through things that have their own like flaws or whatever. They make mistakes.
Yeah.
They're just human beings at the end of the day. So
Mm.
yeah, I think it's just the whole comparison thing as well.
Yeah. I got a question for you guys. Have you guys ever been like a die-hard fan of someone?
Jesus, this is gonna.
Like dead ass when I say like die hard, like to the point where whatever faults are, like I know people
Like they call them true fans.
like really like true
Yeah.
fans. Because I'll say straight off the bat, like
Yeah, you
I've-
have. I know.
I haven't. Who?
I don't even know.
Like for example, like Buddy, growing up, I loved him. But it wasn't to the point where like I get posters and stick him all over my room.
Mm.
It's not where like
Ah.
my favorite number was 23.
And you wouldn't
know-
buy something because he said go buy it or something like that.
Nah, like
Yeah.
But Mo Farah.
no, definitely not. I did this because of him though.
Yeah. How about like basketball players? Like
Huh?
like
NBA
really
players.
true fans or,
LeBron or something like that.
you know?
Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook. Yeah, well, bought his shoes and stuff, but
But you weren't like die hard.
Yeah,
nah,
not the
not
next
die
level.
hard. Nah.
Like you looked up the
I
statistics.
reckon
and all
soccer
that sort of
players,
stuff
I was like that, where it's like
Yeah.
I really love them,
High school
but
years.
it's not like like Henri. Like growing up, he was everything.
Mhm.
But then it
Yeah.
wasn't like it wasn't deeper than the soccer pitch,
Yeah,
because I was like in primary school.
yeah.
You have
Okay,
good
And to
taste.
be honest,
You have good taste.
Yeah, but I'm saying, you know what I mean? Though, like it wasn't like what's he doing outside. I want to follow every area of his life.
You're
You
oblivious
couldn't.
though.
Like you couldn't. You actually couldn't.
no, but also you're oblivious as well because you're so in love with, let's just say, his talent and what he's doing
Yeah.
and what he's accomplishing. You just
Yeah.
you don't care. It's just like
What was the
'cause I
specific
wanna be
question?
there.
Like, have you been like a proper diehard fan of a certain celebrity?
I
a certain
think My perspective on like looking up to people is very one-dimensional. It's like in that sphere, I'll look up to you, and that's it. Like
Yeah,
in
but you-
soccer, I'll
you're-
look up to you, but I did not care what your political stance is on something.
Did you have that growing up as well?
Yeah, always. It was just never because
Yeah.
I never saw someone as he's got every single thing I want all rounded, and he's the perfect person to look up to.
Yeah. Definitely.
To get like in the 21st century.
Yeah.
So because there was no example of that, it's more like I'll take 10% of you, 20 of you, 30 of you, and put it together.
100%.
Mm.
That was
You
more.
always like that, even as a kid.
Yeah.
Really? Like you could think like that?
It's only because like I was never one dimensional myself. I wasn't just a soccer kid.
Chang, I like
You get
this. I like this.
Bro, a 12-year-old kid comes up to me and says, I'm not one-dimensional. I'm gonna slap
No.
you, bro.
But it's more
I
about.
might be 2, but I think
But
I'm
it's like,
3.
for example, how many sports did you play? Did you just play footy? I like
Footy,
to play.
soccer, cricket.
So
I play
because that you
football
like
and
different
things.
players and different things, and
Nah.
then you might actually like school. You used to like certain classes.
Yeah, yeah.
So I used to enjoy school.
I never said Einstein's my favorite because I like science. I'll take 10% from
Yeah.
Einstein.
I like Galileo growing up though.
Yeah.
Only
Why?
because he had a lovely name, bro.
Who the hell is
Galileo.
Galileo,
I
bro?
was so fascinated. You don't know Galileo?
I don't.
I know I don't know, I can't remember what show it's from. Galileo. That's about it, bro.
That sounds familiar.
We need a history class then. We
Yeah.
need a history class. Yeah.
But I'm not gonna answer who he is.
How about
'cause I think I know who he is.
was there anything else for you guys? Anyone else you guys look up to? Because I got something.
Oddly, I wouldn't say that I was a massive fan, but I did follow his vlogs a lot. And I told you this guy,
Gaza? Or
FuzzyTube.
I swear, I was
obviously.
just about to mention that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, FuzzyTube for me, because you know, he was the religious brother. He was a Muslim.
Yeah.
Mashallah, he made it big.
religious?
You have
Well,
to start.
yeah,
Yeah, bro. You
'cause,
Muslim
bro,
family.
Bro, Muslim family.
but that-
All he has to
mum
say
and
is
his dad.
inshallah.
He was a Muslim.
No, but the
Icon.
thing is, you have to understand
Yeah.
when you're a kid, you don't know all that stuff. You don't
Yeah.
know all that stuff. You know, this guy's mum wears hijab. You know that he makes videos about Muslim struggles.
He used to
Yeah.
make Ramadan videos, tarawih and stuff. That were banter.
Yeah,
They'll
yeah.
banter, yeah.
You know what I mean? And
So
in
you
your
ha-
head, you're like, he prays,
yeah.
and he's
He's
built.
like me. He's like me.
So
like
you-
he's built.
So you create
he's
this
got-
perception of the guy from like 3 things of his life.
I wrote that.
He
Go
said,
on, yeah.
Inshallah, Mashallah, and
For me,
Alhamdulillah.
automatically, when I was younger, the one thing that could get me to go, okay, yeah, I'm gonna consistently watch this guy
Yeah.
or follow what he does to get some tips from him is if this guy was like built,
For sure.
like you know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
I
Fuzzy
thought he was
Fitness,
doing
yeah.
something right, but he had a mad
he
body.
did.
I'm not gonna
Mashallah,
lie,
He did.
mashallah. Yeah,
Balls, but
at
yeah.
one stage he was very buff, and then that sounds bad because in the UK buff means okay, no, not buff. He's not buff. He was very strongly built, mashallah. But
Strongly
it's so
built.
weird.
Hey, that's
he got the wrong message.
That's a good cover up. Wallah, that's a good cover
Yeah,
up.
yeah, but yeah, and then for me growing up, like I used to always like follow his vlogs and see what he was doing, and you notice that he's always frantic. He's always doing something good, and he was meeting these different people, and he's living in Los Angeles in the most expensive apartment. You remember at that one stage,
Yeah.
he had money, bro.
For sure.
Yeah, and
And
it's
his
obvious.
videos were clocking
And he was
100 mil.
splurging. Yeah.
And he's doing all these social experiments where he's
And-
socially conscious as well.
And then the wild, like, big, like pranks and experiments that he would do with, like, Roman Atwood
Yeah.
and all that
But
kind of stuff. He's
so-
just dominating.
What extent did it go to like true fan? Because yeah, like you said, like a true
I
fan.
would just consistently follow his vlog.
But did you also try to mimic his character?
Oh,
like the
never,
banter?
never.
Okay, okay.
That sort of stuff. The only person I've mimicked character from is Deadpool. That's about it.
Yeah, but do you know what I just realized?
That's understandable.
Saying mimic character, I feel like I've personally mimicked character more from TV shows.
Like who?
Yeah.
Like this,
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
The Office and-
but it's obvious. Like when I watch a show, maybe growing up, it wasn't people; it was more TV characters.
Yeah.
Like for example,
Yeah, yeah.
Harvey Specter or Barney Stinson, or now watch
Barney
Michael Scott.
Stinson.
Yeah.
You'd watch it,
Yeah.
and you're like, I want to be like that.
Yeah,
You know, I want to
yeah.
be the best
Like,
clothes. I
yeah.
want to be. And
Sheldon.
I think TV shows is where I looked up to for a lot of like role models, banter, jokes, and your character
I
gets
can agree
formed.
with that. Yeah, there was
That's
actually also
interesting.
another guy that I used to watch. I think kind of like resonated his personality, like resonated with my one a little bit. That's how I continued to watch his vlogs. Was a guy called Travis Williams. He's light skinned guy from.
Oh, you
from-
told, yeah, this guy.
Yeah. He's actually, I don't know. I found him funny when I was younger.
Reactions?
Not reactions. He does like vlogs. He used to do
Yeah.
vlogs, and he recently came back, and I went back and watched a couple of his other videos. I'm like, he's okay. Like I find him funny only because of nostalgia, but it kind of makes me go to myself, well, I can't believe that I used to watch this guy consistently. Like it was something I looked forward to.
Yeah.
That's what I would say is kind of like, and then like subconsciously it would change your personality
Yeah.
based around what you've watched. Like you know, you get guys who watch Top Boy for 3 seasons and start coming saying bruv, in
And,
it,
yeah.
and you're in
Pointing at
Australia,
the
you're in
guy,
Melbourne, bro.
Yeah, he
Pointing at him.
just pointed at me, but it's like, but I get his reference, like continue. But do you look back at those times and say like, damn, I regret the way that I like transformed my identity?
Not
to a
really,
degree?
because I kind of like, you know, after a bit it wears off.
Yeah.
But the things that maintain with you are the things that you actually held true to who you were anyway.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, fam, I get you.
oh god, moisturizer. but yeah, like what was the initial topic you were saying, so I can link it back?
We're talking about the Die Hard bit and all that
Yeah,
kind of
just die
stuff.
hard.
Yeah,
looking
so-
up to people like mimic character.
But you never got to the side to the point where they will take over your personality. like you'd start wearing the clothes they'd wear. You'd start having posters.
I think as
No,
a
no, I
kid,
wouldn't
you
do
didn't
that.
I
have
know
much
people
control.
like for example the Chris Brown thing. Like I know like I don't want to bait them out, yeah, but like they looked up to Chris Brown to the degree where they idolized him growing up. You know, like school hats at school had Chris Brown like written over him, and it was because of like his relationship with Rihanna and this and all that kind of stuff. And but I never got to that point with a certain person.
Yeah,
You know,
I think it
Thank
was
God I
TV show
didn't.
characters, man. They really like.
Harvey Specter, yeah, that was a good call.
But they put like, you kind of want to be them because they're so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Like, and because they're obviously not real, but you feel like they're real. Like Michael Scott, you just want his banter. You just want to meet him. You just want to give him a hug.
you know Harvey Specter, bro. This is bad, yeah. In year 12, that's when I first started like watching Suits, and we used to have like these sweaters we used to wear in our school uniform. And Harvey Specter used to wear like a vest inside,
Yeah.
and we used to have like blazers as well. Bruv, in a 30-degree day on summer, tell me why I'm wearing a bloody sweater.
Because
So what
because
were you
of
wearing
Harvey.
a
Because of that-
sweater?
Stick to your morals,
I
bro.
hated sweaters because it used to make me itchy as well.
legendary in year
But
10,
just because of the look that
You
I
had to
just looked so
stay
focused.
smart and like,
La
oh,
hawla
Year
wala
10,
quwwata illa billah.
no one likes to wear suit and ties. Yeah,
yeah,
I started wearing tie clips to school.
yeah.
I was
With
this
extra
guy.
bow.
I was the only one in the school. Why am I in year 10
Did you
wearing a
abuse
tie
him?
clip?
Please tell me you abused him.
And I thought I looked hectic.
This guy thought he was a boss,
I
bro.
still have like 5 of them. I bought different ones, different patterns.
La
Harvey
hawla
Because of
wala
Harvey?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I'm
100%.
crazy
don't,
that.
don't wear skinny tie. I used to try to make my tie, you know.
Bro, in these characters, like, they're not real. Like, I think I seen like an interview with Dwight. I don't know his actual name.
Yeah, yeah.
He's in an interview and he still posts photos to this day. And then he's with his wife, whatever. And then, who's the girl he was with in the office? What was her name?
Angela.
Yeah, so they always comment, "Oh, where's Angela? Is Angela gonna be upset about this?"
Yeah, bro, weirdos, man.
It's like, bro,
Yeah, I
he's
know.
not Dwight in real life.
Yeah.
But then you resonate with the person. It's like there's
Wait,
there's a
did you
big connection.
Did you resonate with Dwight?
What?
Did you resonate with Dwight?
No. There's no shit.
Okay, good.
It
I'm
sounds
just
like
saying how much like people can connect with a fake character. Like,
Yeah.
how much it can make an impact on their lives.
Yeah.
But it still sticks to this
I
day.
want to go to the community, because sometimes there's like people in the community and they're looked up to. You know, we're talking about the wrong people. Sometimes like we even romanticize like someone else because maybe they're religious, and we just know they go to the mosque, so we might maybe say that they're the best guy in the world. You know what I mean? Like we know people in the community. Maybe people talk them up because they don't know their flaws and stuff. How about that? Is that idea with you guys as well? Like seeing the whole picture with the person, you know? Because sometimes, you know, you might just see one characteristic of a person, and because of that one character, you put them on a pedestal.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, is there that kind of thing as well you see in the community or with yourselves?
But you see that all the time. Like even take the social media example, like off of social media in real life. When you're meeting someone for the first time, they're trying to show you the best version of themselves. You know, so you don't, even though the first interaction, you know how they say like that first judgment or that first interaction with someone like stays with you for a long time. You can't take that as take that as face value, basically. Don't take that as their whole character or whatever, because there's different sides to a person. But if you're going to a certain location or you meet someone for the first time and then you're like, man, this guy's the best, and you're hyping him and all that kind of stuff and holding him to an idol status, so you look up to them, that's pretty bad. Like it's pretty bad, you know?
I think. Sorry.
Yeah, go.
So, sorry, I was just gonna say. I think it's inevitable, but in the community, like for example, you think of when you're younger as well. You look up to people that are older than you, even though it's like they might do one good thing, or they might just even be good at the sport you like, and you start to look up to them. I think it's inevitable, whether you're actually like the face of the community or it's just within like cousins, where it's like the older cousin, you look up to him because he has something you have, like I don't know, a nice car, or he's good at soccer. These type of things are inevitable. So
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
like, even like I'm just saying, for example, even if we didn't have a podcast, there'll still be people like noticing what we do and even possibly copy your actions.
I think you can notice the trend. I don't know if this is the same thing in your guys' area, but you know, there's always that notorious one or two people that have done,
Trendsetters.
not trendsetters, they've done something like
Start a podcast.
gangster.
Oh.
Or start a podcast, bro. They've done something gangster, and you kind of like you hear stories about them and how nuts they are, or how hard they are. Like you can't look past this person, whatever. And you see them, and then you realize that they're like, okay, yeah, you've heard stories and whatever, but above all else, they're human beings. And then even that, they embrace you, they say hello and whatever. And if they shake your hand, bro, and this guy, you're looking up to him because he's like 30 years old, 40 years old. And all you hear is stories about this bloke. Because all people do is talk. Let's be honest. In communities, everywhere. I'm pretty sure that there's just this consistent like
Sure.
there's stories, rumors, there's chatter about people, and everything just goes around really quickly. And then you get that person come up to you, maybe say hello or shake your hand at an event or at a family gathering or whatever, and then you're like, far, like this person actually noticed me. What the hell? You know what I mean? Like you think that it'd be like, he's a little kid, now shut up, yeah? Like get out of here. But then and then like your impression, yeah, like you were saying, like my first like I remember meeting that person from my area, and I was just like, that's it. My perspective of this person changed.
Yeah.
From what I heard, I think everyone's misjudging him. Like for example, Muhammad Hoblos, yeah. Everybody says, bro, he yells too much. He does this, you know. Like I hate him. I don't like him. This is that. I don't like his approach. And then I remember meeting him, bro. This guy, subhanallah, yeah, Muhammad Hoblos. When I met him at the Preston Mosque when he came here, this guy's smile was that big. I've never met this guy in my life. I've never met Muhammad Hoblos in my life. Inshallah, one day we have a proper conversation, whatever, I'll be sick. But I've never met him before in my life. He's standing opposite me in the car park. Massive smile, walking up to me, come to shake my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, this 6'5", mashallah, I don't know how big he is. Coming to hug me, I'm like,
Yeah.
what the hell? I'm like, 200,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
And
Why'd you come up to me?
Yeah, like everyone knows you, bro. Everyone loves you from the UK around the world. Everyone knows who you are, and they love you. Like, what the hell? Like, I'm just a random bloke.
That changed your opinion of him?
Didn't even have a bad opinion of him in the beginning. I actually love his lectures and whatever, because he gives me a nice kick.
But
That's the only way I learn.
Yeah.
I learn from the way he teaches.
He's talking to you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
But I know what you mean, because like for example, when people who say like Basha or Walid Ali or whoever in the community that's pretty well known, as soon as they meet them, sometimes you're starstruck
yeah,
and you think it's the biggest thing. But then if you know they're human, it's a bit different.
yeah, exactly.
Kinda,
So you have to look past it.
yeah.
But
But it's really hard to look past that about someone. You know, as much as we can say like, yeah, they're just like someone, they're just human and all that kind of stuff. Like I was watching a video on TikTok the other day of some guy running off the stands and running towards Ronaldo. You know, I don't know if you guys seen the same video.
The Champions League game. Yeah,
Yeah, and then he just like took a photo of him and all that kind of stuff. In my head, I'm thinking, bro, like what a nuisance this guy is, you know. But then I can sort of understand where he's coming from, you know, because this is Ronaldo, you know, like this guy is like this great to this level.
He's the most followed person on Insta, isn't he?
Say again?
yeah, in the
He's
world.
The most followed person on Instagram. Like the whole world deadass knows Ronaldo, and I'm here within his vicinity, you know. But it's crazy because I was also thinking about it with like NFTs and all this kind of stuff recently, you know. It's like it's us as humans that put value in certain things, and if you strip that value away, like for example, if I was to buy an NFT of a random cartoon, just a cartoon or something like that,
What's the NFT?
non-fungible token. Yeah, non-fungible token. It's a crypto basically. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. But essentially, it's basically cartoons and little what's it called? How do I say it? It's like
Don't worry about it. You carry on. We'll talk about it later.
yeah, creators create this like certain art and all that. I'm just getting into it. Anyway, basically they sell it on the blockchain, all that kind of stuff, and then people put their price on it, and its price goes out the roof.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you look at it, all it is just a cartoon, and a million people have put an auction on it or whatever, and they've put it for a price of hundreds of $1,000s, millions of dollars. If let's just say I was thinking about it in the shower the other day, I was like, bro, let's just say I was to buy one, and for some reason no one had that hype about that cartoon, yeah, it would just be a cartoon, you know. And it's literally the same thing with like a celebrity, you know. If you take it away, if you take like Ronaldo away in terms of his 295 million followers on what's called Instagram, and take this away from him, he's just another guy that was from Portugal, you know.
We give him the value.
We put that value in him per se, which is
But it's the same as like, for example, people in the community, like we talk them up. The only reason they maybe get spoken about is because of us.
yeah.
You know, so they're like prestige or well known, how well known they are is because of us.
That's why I was
So-
going back to the whole thing at the start when we said, like, do we look up to the wrong people? And I said, you know how there's like an other side to it, and it's the side that they can't control. Like, yes, they've gone and like he's become a soccer player or he's become one of the greatest basketball players in the world, but they can't control that aspect of someone looking up to them for an aspect of their life that they sort of didn't portray. You know, like you got like the media and stuff that they put like a different side to you out there, you know, but you didn't have control over that. You know, it's a different conversation when you're Logan Paul and you're going to Tokyo or Japan and putting up a video of a dead person. You know, that you can't make an excuse over. But when there's an aspect,
Because it's PR version.
Yeah, there's
You
a
know
PR
what I mean?
version.
So basically, what happens is, but come on, if somebody was to show you, like for example, they have a drug addiction or they smoke or they do something bad that you probably don't rate, if they were to show you that, would you be consistently like watching them or purchasing what they try to sell or that sort of stuff? You wouldn't. Yeah, you
Honestly, if I still get benefit from them, yeah, 100% I'd still watch them.
no, but like for example, I'll give you. Oh, I don't want to name names.
Just
Okay,
name
but
it
there was a certain
we'll blur it out.
certain speaker who had a controversy surrounding him,
Mm.
and what people don't understand is this guy had actually made beneficial videos. It doesn't make everything that he had said before that questionable just because of that one incident, you know. So one
100%.
thing that people need to do is separate the man from the message, yeah, because oftentimes the message is very clear and it's distinct and you know it's correct, but what happens is you let the man or the shortcomings of a man, which we all have, yeah, we let the shortcomings of a man tarnish the message that they put across, which oftentimes it shouldn't be, you know, unless this person's outwardly saying, from my opinion,
Yeah,
this is what I think you should do,
yeah,
then it's a questionable statement.
yeah, for sure.
But if this person is relaying messages
Mhm.
or relaying knowledge or imparting knowledge upon you from a good source, from a sound source, and you've done your research and it's obviously sound source,
Yeah.
then it's completely, bro, it's you can take that. You're
sure.
allowed to take it.
Yeah, it's the same thing with like entertainment as well. You know, when like the whole thing with like cancel culture and stuff, you know, because when one person does something that's questionable or is completely wrong, let's not even say questionable, yeah, but then they sort of tarnish all the work they've done in the past. You know, it's like that's another
But
conversation.
I think
actually.
that's so how I was going to like take the good and leave the bad, because a lot of times where like a sheikh, for example, will do like 100 hectic good lectures on YouTube that's available, and then you have one thing which is controversial, and you
Yeah.
take like a opinion that isn't mainstream. Everyone says you shouldn't listen to him anymore.
Yeah.
But like Sahal said, the other lectures are so good, but sometimes we just cause one bad thing they did.
Well, he has a bad opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should just relax. One thing that I was gonna touch on was like, for example, you know how high esteem they hold George Washington in the United States, yeah? Founding father, blah blah blah. They always talk about the guy with the wooden teeth. You know how you know where his teeth actually are from?
Who, George?
Yeah,
No, I don't know.
he knocked out slaves' teeth. Yeah, so he basically ripped out teeth from slaves,
And put his own teeth in there.
and he
Put it into his mouth.
George Washington is one of the wooden teeth. Yeah, yeah, he put slave teeth to replace the teeth that he had because of how tarnished, like how disgusting his old teeth were. And a lot of people still look up to him in high esteem because they only see the good things that they want to see.
Yeah, that's
know?
America as well. Those guys are bad.
And
dudes.
it's a different case because the same thing
Not
is
allowed
like
there.
Abraham Lincoln, who everyone talks about. There's things he said. If you heard what he said, you think, why do I still, rate him
Yeah.
as a president? But it's only because it's why they're well known.
Yeah,
So obviously, founding father George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Honest Abe, and all the things he did,
yeah,
stuff like that. But that's a different case, because like I don't put these guys on a pedestal. I know some people do, but there's guys who I know can benefit the community so much. And then, for example, there was a sheikh, and I said, remember Hamza Yusuf? We're listening to Purification of the Heart. I told my mate, I said, bro, this is one of the best series I've listened to. Suss it out. He goes, I can't listen to Hamza Yusuf, sorry.
because of his opinion on
And-
Black Lives Matter. Is what you're saying?
Because he would just say like, oh, because he's on a different manhaj.
Well,
He's on a
Hamza
different.
Yusuf has a opinion on Black Lives Matter.
There was one time he said he did say something questionable about, I think it was Syria,
Syria is the
I
one
don't
that he
know.
gets a lot of backlash for.
Syria or Palestine, and then he also says something about Black Lives Matter. And I know that, but the thing is, yeah, if somebody's intention is different or their
Opinion.
thought or perspective of the situation is different to yours, and like based off of who they are or what they've done before in the past, you can kind of derive that they were coming from a good place. So, because you have to think good of people, like as a Muslim, you have to think good of your Muslim brothers, unless he's giving you reason to think otherwise. But I know that him saying going against an oppressive leader is a bit questionable, yeah? But then again, I think to myself, how much knowledge do I have to question somebody who has,
40 years of it.
do you know what I mean? So why is it all of a sudden that we all have opinions?
It's because Twitter. You feel like your opinion is validated. But
It's a bit weird.
it's also the same, like not with the sheikh, but Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson's a very intellectual person, and there's a lot to benefit from him. But he has strong views on our religion,
Yeah.
or he has views on our religion. And he says he's not knowledgeable on it, but he might say X, Y, and Z. But if he's talking about like shoulders back, head up, you should
Productivity.
treat yourself like someone you care about. There's nothing wrong with that kind of thing. So maybe take that stuff, but the questionable stuff leave. take the 5-10% because there's actually so much we can gain.
Yeah.
But if we say no straight away, you limit your growth.
I started binging his videos.
You used to hate on him when we
yeah,
started.
no, no.
Yeah,
You know what it
okay.
was?
He goes through phases.
Yeah.
You know what happened initially? So initially I thought because of what he said about the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, I was like, this guy's bad. That's it.
Mm.
Get out of my face, yeah?
I never
Wait,
clicked.
so did he make a comment about
I would
Rasul
never
Sallallahu
click
outwardly?
Jordan Peterson talking about the deen or anyone like
Yeah,
even Hamza Yusuf talking about Syria. It's like I'm a bit more intentional.
Yeah, he
like,
never, he
I
never
know they're
lived
gonna
there.
annoy me or something.
Yeah, no, he never lived. See, this is the thing about, I think Tim Humble said it once on one of his podcasts or in a lecture. He goes, so long as you haven't lived in that place, so long as you've never grown up there, so long as you're not well aware and you're not like, you're not coming from a primary source, you're talking about secondary sources. He goes, don't even talk or comment about anything. Because first of all, you're not equipped. Second of all, you're not credible enough to talk about the situation.
Yeah.
Like, for example, everyone will talk about Saudi Arabia, how corrupt they are or whatever it
Yeah.
is. But not saying they aren't or they are. That's not my opinion here. I don't care. But a lot of people don't live there. A lot of people don't know what's going on there. A lot of people aren't in touch with that situation there.
So how can you formulate?
Yeah,
an
so
opinion?
you can't really
Yeah.
formulate an
Mm.
opinion.
Yeah.
All you
sure.
can say is I heard or I saw or then that doesn't work.
Yeah, that's
No?
a different conversation.
But
But what were you binging of Jordan Peterson?
it's his what got me into
His
like
new
watching
book?
more of his videos. No, his analysis of Pinocchio.
Pinocchio. Okay, yeah.
You know the movie Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he did an analysis and he went through like play by play about how, you know the owner of Pinocchio, the guy that makes him like
Yeah.
do shows and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I don't know what his name is, but the evil guy,
Mm.
basically a child trafficker, because Pinocchio becomes a boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But and he talks about pure evil and he analyzes situations in the movie where he talks about false celebrity, and he speaks about like the facade that people put on when it benefits them in the eyes of others, and then when his back's turned and he doesn't realize that they're watching, he's going hard at Pinocchio for making a fool of himself, you know. And then like he'll analyze that. Like for example, you know how Hamza Yusuf works? He always talks in tangents.
Mm.
Yeah, like a lot of the time he'll be talking about something. So you can tell by the way I talk as well. That's why I kind of like guys like Hamza Yusuf and Jordan Peterson. Is they'll analyze something and then they'll go into depth on one part of it and go on a tangent to a different place, and then you end up quoting Johnny Cash for no reason. Yeah, and then come back to his, you know, he'll come back to the thing and he'll put it back on the path that he was going on.
Yeah.
So what Jordan Peterson does is he spoke about, for example, Pinocchio falling and becoming embarrassed, and he speaks about how kids, when they're younger, they don't actually get like, oh no, wasn't that was before that. He speaks about how when a person blushes, they're more trustworthy because their body can't lie to anybody else. So when you're lying or when you're embarrassed, your body it betrays you by showing everyone else that you're embarrassed because you're blushing,
Wow.
because there's evidence of your
This when you're saying the truth.
exactly, because you're showing evidence of your feelings on the outside.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
they always say trust somebody that blushes because of that reason, you know. So
Mm.
like I said,
Yeah.
there's bits and pieces like that analysis and those tangents. I love
Yeah.
listening to them because there's little things you didn't know, but they make a lot of sense in the grand scheme of things. You
I
know?
always, like I was telling Legendary because we were listening to the Sira, it's like the tangents are actually the most interesting bits. Not most interesting, but they keep you like on your toes, and you learn something that's so random and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's actually the
That's
best
why
part.
when I heard tangents, you know how he was like quoting like Jordan
Yeah.
Peterson thing. Yasser Qad
I
is
know.
the king of. That's where I learned that word from. He always used to say after,
What word?
like the word tangent. I never knew it. But
Oh.
like when I was listening to it, I used to go, "Oh, sorry for the tangent." Back to the thing.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like sometimes tangents are necessary because it actually applies logic and you connect like the facts to it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But like when you start going on a random goose chase,
Yeah.
It
that's
gives context to your opinion too. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah.
That's what I like
Okay.
about it.
How about back to role models? Like, who are some people?
Actually, before we go to the role model thing, isn't it funny how like sometimes Jordan Peterson he can create like an in-depth analysis about the weirdest things in the
like
world,
Pinocchio.
like Pinocchio.
That was made like.
You know,
I used to
80 years
think he
ago.
was an aerator. I'm not.
that's what I'm trying to say. At what point is it bullshit?
But if you see, the
when
thing is, when you have to start listening to things with an open mind, yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is when I used to listen to him or when I was trying to give him a chance initially, I had already had a tarnished view of this guy
For sure.
because of what he said about the Rasul.
Yeah.
Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, yeah? So my automatic reaction was whatever this guy's spitting, he's just spitting bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm not going to listen to him, yeah?
Yeah.
And then I opened like my mind to it and I realized that there are some discrepancies, like things when he speaks about like from the Bible, passages about
Adam and Eve.
Adam and Eve
Yeah.
or what's that last one? What's
But it's hard for me to not look at that.
Okay.
What the story of Lut?
Yeah,
There's
the homosexuals and it got flipped upside down, the Dead Sea and
yeah,
stuff.
but there's the two people in it.
In Lut?
Lot, the son. You
No,
talking
but
about
in the Bible version, I'll find
Oh,
it.
okay,
Carry
yeah.
on, sorry.
But continue. What about it though? You're getting to a point.
Like we disagree with his opinion on that.
For sure. Yeah.
You know,
But also sometimes disagreeing with this is why I love debating. I remember saying this on the Adnan Rashid episode. Sometimes it's not about changing your opinion. It's more understanding how they came to that opinion themselves.
Their point
know?
of view.
Yeah,
Sodom
their point of view.
Sodom and Gomorrah. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah. Never heard that before about you.
Mm.
It's interesting understanding the view. Like for example, Jordan Peterson, when he gave an in-depth analysis about those guys that are so Hitler was one of them, Stalin, and another one, Mao. You know, it's like how history doesn't talk about them enough. You know, history only talks about, like for example, history only talks about Hitler. He's like at the front race of, you know, the World War II and all that kind of stuff in terms of dictatorship. But Mao never ever gets it's called much presence, like much. He doesn't get spoken about much. And when he gave his in-depth analysis in regards to like when you break down them as figures into their personality traits, like how narcissistic and whatnot they were, I look at that and I go, bro, like,
How'd you get that? Yeah.
yeah, like how did you get there? And then the bigger question is, why was I not taught this in school? That's the thing. Like I look at that, like when we're reading 12 Rules for Life, there was in like on the seventh chapter, I remember it specifically, he speaks about, I can't quote it for you exactly, but anyway, that's where he speaks about the whole thing about Mao, Stalin, and a lot of the philosophers during the World War period of time as well, you know, and then you almost feel like you're robbed of education to a certain degree. It's like, why am I hearing about these guys now? You know, why am I hearing about Pinocchio's analysis? Why am I looking at him just guy with long nose?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
I just thought it was a cartoon. Can't take from it. You know,
That's
100%.
fascinating.
it's like Disney movies all have like hidden meaning.
Yeah,
But
a
it's
lot of
important.
lessons.
It's an
Hold on.
important. It's got to take home message from your thing about Jordan Peterson. You know, like sometimes you have to remove the emotion and apply the logic in that sense. You know, though he might have said something that like offended you, there might actually be good. There might be some good underlying his conversation.
But with that, you can have the perspective with whoever it is, take the good, leave the bad, and no one's perfect. Like
Exactly.
the amount of speeches Jordan Peterson or whoever, whichever public speaker does, they're bound to make one mistake. They're bound to quote something wrong. It's like, it's just the law of averages. If you have 10